see Martin on your screen.
We do that. Yeah.
Right enough for him. That's it.
Look at that. You wouldn't even know you're in the same place.
I know. Cool, isn't it?
So what's happening, everyone? This is Lockdown Beers with Martini Richards and Tessa Whittock.
Martini Richards. Hello, everybody.
That was a polite version.
Yeah. So what have you two been doing on lockdown? Well, we've all been off work and whatnot.
Not a fat lot, really. Obviously, we were mid-preparation for the season, and then all of this stuff happened. So I'm lucky enough that I kind of work on my own. Still got really good customers who are still carrying on with work, and just taking our time preparing for when we will actually be allowed out again. So, yeah, trying to keep busy, trying to keep the mind occupied, things like that. What have you been doing, Tess?
Helping you, mainly.
Yeah. And obviously, Tess owns a drift school, so that's all come to a stop, hasn't it?
Which
is that not essential?
Drifting is essential.
If only it was.
But I don't think what did I see earlier? I saw a police van that said Pandemic Response Unit or something like that. Really? I don't think they would be too happy. Yeah.
So, you've both started up a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's another thing. As we've had so much time on our hands, we started reminiscing about last year, thinking about all the fun times. And we actually filmed quite a lot of material because we were trying to do vlogs and things for Driftworks at events. But we are totally crap at making a story for each event kind of thing.
Yeah.
You live the story instead of recording it.
We would start really well, and then shit would hit the fan, and we'd just forget to pick up the camera, and then ultimately forget to actually finish off the story and stuff. So
or start it.
We ended up with a lot of footage, and we sat down and we just thought we'd go through it all, and ended up making a bit of a montage. Yeah. And yeah, from that we're going to start doing a bit more, and hopefully as soon as we're allowed back out again, carry on really. And it's kind of an important thing nowadays, isn't it, to put out content, show yourselves off, although we're really bad at showing ourselves off. And just
you can't be any worse than me, Martin.
Yeah, people are
the most unprofessional YouTube channel ever.
What's that?
The most unprofessional YouTube channel ever.
Yeah, exactly. It will be something like that. But people like that, I suppose. So hopefully people like that.
Yeah.
They watch yours, don't they?
We've had quite a ridiculous amount of views. The hours watched on these chats is absolutely stupid, to be fair.
And it's a great idea. So we're happy to be here, and looking forward to sinking a few of you boys.
So what is your YouTube channel? Get a plug so people can subscribe to it.
Are we going to call it Mess? Yeah, basically Martin and Tess turns into a mess.
Yep.
So it's basically called Mess. And
but at the minute it's Martin.
At the minute it's Martin and Tess, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Have you checked if Mess is available?
Like and subscribe. You press something here and do that. And,
so yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel as well and you're watching this, subscribe to mine.
Yeah, definitely.
So, do you want to tell us a bit about your drifting history? Where you started, what got you into it?
Who, me or Tess?
We'll start with Tess because you haven't shut up yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my history, I suppose 8 years ago I got into it. And it started off with me going to an event, I would say, when I was about 15. Where was it? I went to Sandford.
When you were 15?
Hold on, the maths don't work here, Tess. I'm not having this.
Hang on, there's another thing as well.
Wait.
Tess, should you not have a can of Monster there, not a bottle of Bud?
Oh, God.
Hold that thought.
We got any Red Bull about?
But anyway, I was interested in it since I was about 15 years old. I wanted to, as soon as I saw what drifting was, I needed to do something like this. And I think I was 20.
There you go.
I think I was 21 when I bought my Skyline. That was before meeting this one.
What? So 6 years you wanted to start drifting, and then 6 years later you bought the car. You can't have wanted to do it that bad.
Had to afford it. Come on now.
And at how many people at 15 have got a Skyline?
Yeah, true.
But yeah, from there. Oh, what did I do then?
I don't know. It's your story, Tess.
Is it? I'm lost already. Oh God. I suppose with my Skyline, yes, I was a bit naughty and used to do street-o and stuff like that. My ambition was to always compete because I am a competitive person.
Yeah, she does that with me daily.
And then I was getting involved in the company AeroKit. And then I found out about this one because I always watch videos, things like that. Obviously, inspiration from people.
Saw him on the internet.
So what you saw him on the internet? So we're a bit like Tinder?
Yeah,
But like
that.
AeroKit YouTube channel or something.
That's it. In some way.
I saw him on the internet and then I finally met him.
Right, right.
The
Look
one.
at him now.
Proper fangirl. Proper fangirl. And I suppose the rest is history in that respect. And I then went from looking after this one, making sure he went to events and spotted for him. Because the first year I met him, you were
2014, wasn't it?
2014.
I was doing Drift All-Stars. And we actually met at Stratford Park event.
This is so romantic.
Martin, it's not your story, mate.
All right. She's looking at me for inspiration.
Yeah, he wouldn't speak to me though, to be fair.
Too cool.
At the London. No, you're not. You wouldn't. And then I think, you smashed your bumper up, so I had to get another bumper from where I get.
Nigel Colfer smashed my bumper up.
No,
It's never your fault.
No.
We've got another one who's never his fault.
Of course. Looked after you for a couple of years and then wanted to compete myself. I was doing random drift days in the 2 years that I suppose I was looking after Martin. And then it came to you getting Driftworks the R32.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get my car cage because I've got a white R33, which I still own, which hasn't got a gearbox in at the moment.
It's basically been sat in a storage.
Is that the only thing missing out of your car, Tess?
Sorry?
Is that the only thing missing off it?
No, Martin's stolen a load of parts out of it.
Can I'll just borrow this and that.
It kind of did it. It has kind of ended up a bit like that. Nothing major.
And like worst bits, you're better off taking a major bit, because then you will actually replace it. Well, you've got a load of little shitty bits. You're never going to put them back on, are you?
The gearbox. Tess went through a stage of, I think, breaking an RB25 gearbox every time she drove the car.
Yeah.
Matt's Yuri, one Drift Elite day, and I ended up building another box for her. Then you started using the 33.
Martin kindly gave me the 33 to drift because I had to wait for God knows how long for Huxley to actually put a cage in my car. So Martin kindly lent me the 33 as she was sitting there not doing anything. And
so is it your car now?
I was going to ask that. Have you played it?
Them questions that never get asked.
Yeah.
That's it. Well,
I think it
still
is.
borrowed.
Is it like squatters' rights?
I think it'll always be my car, but when I got the awesome deal with Driftworks to drive the R32, it was just sat there not doing anything, and it just made sense for Tess to jump into that.
Yeah.
I knew it was capable totally capable for what she needs to do in it,
Yeah.
and take her on her journey, much like it's taken me on my journey. So it was sat there doing nothing, so at least the thing got used, you know.
So what year when you started competing, Tess, and where did you start?
2017, I started competing. I did my first round at Drift Cup at Norfolk Arena, and yeah, that was all right. I came away with.
Who did you have the battles with? I'm sure you went one more time, quite a few times.
Were you there watching it then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 3.
You weren't there, were you?
No, of course. Where was I? Yeah, that was drama.
First time in competition, the loving boyfriend.
Martin, I was there supporting my missus, mate. So,
Yeah,
sorry,
I'm trying to think of a comeback. And what was I actually doing in Dubai?
Judging.
Oh yeah, you know, I was earning bread and butter.
Well, you weren't, because it was Niall, so.
I still got money for it.
So, yeah, you did Drift Cup, and then did you go to Queen of Europe you went to after that?
Yeah, because I thought it was a little...
To say it.
Disheartening.
Yes, that's the one. That's the word. A little bit disheartening after going there, having 3 one more times, but I couldn't change my tyres in between because there was everybody lined up because it's 1 in, 1 out, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I thought, bugger it, I'm going to go out to Europe, see what that's all about. And my first year, I did 5 rounds. I think it was 5 rounds I ended up doing. Won my very first trip out there to France in Queen of Europe, which I thought, that's mental, absolutely crazy. First time out there. And did the rest of the season, was lots of podiums at Queen of Europe and top 8 sometimes in King of Europe in Pro 2. And ended up the season in 3rd place in Queen of Europe and 8th place in King of Europe out of 72 people. So I thought it was quite good.
Not bad for your first season competing, is it?
Yeah, it's not bad.
It was the car, all the car.
I know, mate. I copied it, didn't I? I tried to copy it.
And the
It
helping
didn't work.
hand, and you learn a lot. It was a good experience, and that was, for me, one of the biggest reasons of Tess going to Europe was to jump in at the deep end at something. There was a women's league.
Yeah.
It was the whole experience of going to Europe teaches you so much, and it's just good fun time as well, you know. So
more an adventure.
Yeah, of course. That's what drifting is. Drifting is an adventure. If you're not having fun and you're not pushing yourself, what's the point in doing it, you know? Yeah.
So then after Queen of Europe, you've done a few rounds of BDC, but not a full season?
No, unfortunately. Due to, I suppose, budget as well, because I've sort of backed myself the whole season in 2017, which I had some money saved and then completely blew it all. You know? Travel was ridiculous amounts. And then 2018, I did a couple of rounds in Europe, but they stopped the federal deal, which if you get on the podium, you get, I think it's 3,000 if you win, 2,000 for second, and 1,000 for third, which was really good. And I then came on board with Driftworks in 2018. I went out to Italy and came first in Queen of Europe and second in King of Europe.
What track is it in Italy?
Castelletto.
Such a cool track as well.
Amazing.
Is it? I don't think I've heard of that.
I'd love to spin a few laps around there.
So why didn't you do the pro class and Tess do the Queen of Europe in the same car?
I was campaigning BDC with Driftworks, so
right.
That was the be all and end all, to be honest, was to try and just Like, it's really hard doing like multiple championships, or even two of you taking 2 cars out to Europe, to Italy. It's just a logistical nightmare unless you got money. So it was really hard, and I was there to focus on her career. So
Nice of you, Martin.
Oh, nice.
So then after that, you obviously got on with Monster, and then you've been doing a lot of demos and stuff like that this year.
Yeah.
How did all that come about?
What's that? Say that again.
I said, like, how did all your Monster stuff come about?
I think 2000. It was midway through 2018 that they kind of sussed me out as going to a demo at Silverstone for the World Rallycross, and I thought, well, okay, let's see what this is all about.
Yeah.
Bagsy obviously put me up for it, which is amazing. I'm thankful for him for doing that. And I think pretty much a year later, Monster came
Where's
on
the
board.
Jaeger?
In the freezer.
Crikey.
Oh God, this is gonna get messy. That's good. And then, 2019, obviously, July, they came on board, and I got to do the most amazing events that I've ever been to. I did quite a few different events in Europe. I mean, I think we hosted, what was it, like a demo day for, what's the famous track in Spain?
Martin just wants to
Spain?
Yeah.
Oh, where you did that demo thing. It was apparently like a copy or made by the same people that did Dan Zandvoort, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called.
I can't remember.
It were in Spain.
Yeah. But that, and then hopefully this year when we can go back out there and basically carry on doing demos, and I would like to do a couple of rounds of BBC, Matt, if I could.
Well, this year there is 5 rounds at Buxton between Christmas and New Year. You know, that awkward time.
Yeah. Monday to Friday, one full season.
So if you're free, Tess, just bob.
Cool, I might be up for one of them then.
Oh, brilliant. So yeah, hopefully if we can all get back out there and go to events as much as I can possibly go to, really, and hopefully go out and do a couple of different championships. I would like to go over to Russia and go and do the RDS over there.
But just a quick nip.
Quick nip to Russia.
Will eventually make it to Russia, Martin.
Quick nip,
Yeah, it is a pretty cool championship.
Yeah.
So what about you, Martin? What got you into it? Where did we start?
Right, so we start by just getting a shot down us. Have you got any shot material?
I have, but it's in house.
Well,
I thought you were taking piss when you said you were getting on shots and stuff.
No,
but really, I thought
let
I
them get pissed.
realised you weren't.
I reckon after each story or each consecutive time period, we should celebrate with doing a shot.
No, right.
I agree.
Out, every time you say Driftworks, you have a shot.
Oh God.
Driftworks.
Oh, he's nice.
That's going to be hard in this section.
You can have a swig of beer instead then.
Yeah, okay.
No, get him on the Jaeger. I want to see him smashed.
No, because you'll see me being sick, and that's not a pretty sight.
We don't need that on lockdown beers.
Yeah. So,
come on, Martin.
My drifting journey started in, I would say, something like 2003, 2004. I got the Skyline that Tess drives now, R33.
Really?
Yeah, paid a lot of money for it.
How much was that, do you think? Do you remember?
I've only just last year paid it off. As in,
Really?
yeah, you know, you get loans and you get credit cards and all that stuff. I think the debt I wound up to get that car and then get it to a 400 horsepower.
Does that include competing as well, though? Or is that just from the car?
No, that was... The car cost me £9,400 at the time, which was in 2000.
What? It took you 17 years to pay it off?
Yeah.
£5 a week?
Yeah. But, as stuff snowballs,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about money too much, but as stuff snowballs, you keep adding to that thing, don't you?
Yeah.
And it just goes, and it's like not really coming down, So, yeah, really.
So you bought the car
for it all last year.
Drifting, basically.
Yeah. So 2003, 2004, I got the car. I think it was 2006. I used to go to Santa Pod all the time to like shows. At the time, I was showing the car for OP Oils. Just taking the car to shows. I think I did Max Power Live and things like that, One time I was at Santa Pod. I used to go up and down the drag strip a few times. Always looked at drifting. I mean, it's one of the main reasons I got the Skyline. Like, I wanted to make it look like a drift car. And
mentioning drag strip, if all the drift cars got together to go up the drag strip, would you take your car there?
I think I've actually talked about this with Yam Borghini.
Yeah.
That we should all take our drift cars.
100%.
A drag strip event, a time attack event, and then a drift event.
Well,
it's like 10 of the best kind of thing.
I spoke to Matt about doing a BDC team.
Drivers, It would be such a cool concept, and we need to make it happen one day.
Yeah, we need a UK team, a BDC team, to do drift cars against the rest, basically.
Yeah. Drifting, drag racing, and then like a circuit or something, like a time attack event, and actually find out. Because these cars are crazy now.
That's the thing. Yeah, we'd surprise people.
By standards of track cars and even drag cars, they're still up there. Like, they're so crazy. And when you're actually not driven them for a while, and you actually, I think after lockdown, we're all going to drive these cars for the first time
and go, wow.
Jesus, these things are fast. It's going to be unbelievable. I can't wait.
Yeah, I did speak to Matt about having a team at 10 at best, the BDC team.
Yeah.
And it's on the cards. So if you want to drive it, Martin.
Definitely do it. I am down. As long as Phil and the Driftworks let me. I mean, have a drink.
Oh, yeah. So back to your history. You got your car, went to Santa Pod.
Then I met Lex.
Yep.
Who was doing drifting demos and passenger rides there. And he was like, yo, dude, cool car. Have you thought about drifting? Come and have a go on here. And
it's still the same speech now.
From America. Yo, dude.
Anyway, he said, bring your car in here, have a little go. I had a little go, couldn't do a thing. He then jumped in my car, proceeded to basically like what most people would say was like rag a car, but he literally linked this track in my car, and I was like, oh my god, I need to freaking do that. And that's kind of how it started.
He did exactly the same to me.
Yeah,
and it gives you that speed.
Did he drive your car as well?
Yeah, it gives a go in your car. Yeah, I had an R32 at the time, and they were like that. Just went on big track at Pod and linked it up, and then you're like, well, if he can do it, I've got to be able to do it.
Exactly, yeah. And like the thing had the normal viscous LSD. Yeah. It was Sam to the floor. Like it was not spec'd at all. No lock. It was, and I was just like, shit, man. I would look so cool down the car park doing that stuff. Because that's really all I wanted to do. Was just down the car park, show off, do some cool stuff, and look like the boy,
Yeah.
And then I started going to like practice days once a month at Santa Pod. Then Sweeps started up the BDC in 2008. I think I did one round, the last round at Landau, whatever. In 2008. Didn't qualify, was pretty bummed out, went and practiced some more, then got, because obviously you went to the license day then in those days. Got all that done, and then entered a full championship in 2009. And ended up winning, I think, 4 out of the 5 rounds. It was pretty cool, but in those days, there wasn't any battles in the semi-pro class. So it was just like single runs.
Yeah.
So 4 out of 5 rounds won there. Kind of thought, maybe I'm all right at this, and just carried on. I think I then did 2009, 10, 11, started trying to put more horsepower into the car, blew it up, learned how RBs are and like how to build them properly, and they can be a bit temperamental, and kind of learned a lot of engine building experience from kind of all of that era. And then ended up, I think it was 2010, 2011. I think 2010 or 11, I came 4th or 5th in the championship in the pro class, I was like, pretty cool. I was always watching Drift All-Stars. I think that was the golden era of Drift All-Stars, that kind of era when they did the Wembley events and things like that. Yeah. And I would always watch those and think, my God, like low brain cars, James Dean was on the scene, Palatrella, people like Dan Chapman. Yeah, Dan Chapman as well, yeah. And used to watch that in awe. I think one of the standout events for me was going to Donington when they had it on the Alpine circuit. Yeah. And there was just crowds of people, and I was kind of at the back, and I think I was like standing on some box or something so I could see it all, and like watching Phil, Dan Chapman, even Mito.
Is that his name, Mito?
Mito.
Not Mito.
Yeah.
Mito. Is it Mito or
Mito?
Mito?
A bit meaty. Was it John Calvert?
Yeah, Calvert.
Yeah. People like that, like sending it into these, like you'd see them coming up the hill sideways, brushing the trees and the Armco, and then coming into this big corner and running the wall. And I was like, that's next level. That is next level drifting. Yeah. And then I kind of made, I wanted to do that stuff. It was exciting for me. It was the next level of drifting, and I just wanted to kind of do some of that kind of stuff. So then made inquiries about competing in Drift All-Stars. I was working for somebody at the time then, which is another long story. But then he ended up getting a Toyota Sora, and then I entered into the Drift All-Stars series. They kind of had some deal there that time that if you went to Ireland, you competed in the first round, you got into the top 16, they shipped your car to Europe, and then you kind of just went on this mad journey.
Wait, not at Birmingham Wheels, first one you did?
I think, Birmingham Wheels the first one. Then the second one was at
Punchestown.
You know your stuff, man.
I'm a drift geek.
Yeah. Punchestown. And I think if you got into the top 16 there, they shipped your car. I think the next round was Constanta in Romania. And that was just it. Europe, got the taste of Europe, went out to Europe, and did the rest of the season then on a massive shoestring budget. Like,
what year do you think that was? What year was
2012.
that? 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Blew my mind. And then ended up doing 2012, 2013, 2014, where I met Tess.
But back in 13, your car was silver with all aero kit stuff on, wasn't it?
2013, yeah.
And that way you did invent like the Wisefab fitment then, didn't you?
Yeah. It wasn't actually me who invented it.
Hang on a minute. You always give it the big one, like, now you're in a Driftworks car with the nice wheels, the nice fitment, all that. But you were the first person in the UK with the Wisefab fitment.
I wasn't the first, but I had the massive wheels sticking out the arches, yeah?
Like over half the wheel sticking out.
So the story to that is, at the time, I was working for this other guy who, let's say, will remain.
Well, just say the other guy. No one watches this anyway. Who's the other guy?
Okay, the other guy I was working for at the time was a company called Pure Performance that was.
Oh, that was the same as the other company, but it was renamed.
Yeah, TJZ Engineering. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Matt.
He fucked you over, didn't he, Matt?
And I went down and called his bluff, and I got.
Did you?
We went up his doorstep. In fact, we picked my Skyline up, and then you went to his on way back.
Yeah. So anyway, the long story of that fizzled out. The guy was
a fucking idiot.
I don't think he was a crook. He was just totally blasé to the real world, and ended up hurting a lot of people, doing some damage in the drift scene, and then myself and Thomas Zarowski at the time, who was just employed by this guy and then didn't even get paid a month of wages, and we were suddenly left with a workshop full of cars, a load of stuff, and the rest.
To put in there, weren't it at one point offering? They were bringing some engines in, weren't it, from abroad? And they were offering free conversions, weren't it? If you bought an engine, you could have the engine fitted in any car whatsoever for free. And
I did not know about that.
Yeah, I remember him advertising it. We're like, yeah, I've got a JZ here, $2,000 or whatever, and you pay $2,000 and you can drive it away in anything. You turn up in a Micra and you can drive it away. And in his head, they were like, yeah, it's easy. Make good money on it, piece of piss. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. It's not going to work.
Well, anyway, all of that stuff is history.
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason, but I ended up, me and Thomas Zarowski were working for this guy. It ended up all falling through. Thomas and I decided to make a go of taking on that unit, sorting out the customers, trying to do good in the drift scene, of sorting out the people who got bummed out and ripped off or whatever, and then from that, all of that story, we ended up working together for a year. He ended up rebuilding the Skyline because it was a stock car, just had a bit of lock, all metal panels everywhere. I competed in that for many years, and then we decided to strip it down and fully rebuild it into what it is today, kind of thing. And you were talking about the wheel fitment. I think his idea there, he made a full cut and shut lock system that involves having the wheels spaced out massively for clearance, That's why it ended up looking like that. I didn't really know too much about lock modifications, fabrication, all of that kind of stuff. I just rolled with it. And to be fair, the thing drove good, but it looked like shit.
Martin, I only brought it up because you get bigger now about your fitment and you would fancy wheels and stuff. But you did invent the Wisefab fitment in UK. I just had to slip that one in a quick punch at ribs.
But anyway, the next year, Wisefab actually got in contact with me and said, "Hey Martin, how do you fancy testing the new Wisefab R33 kit?" Sweet. Tested it. It drove awesome. Drove better than actually Zarowski's kit, but Zarowski's kit was pretty good. Yeah. Like it drove well. It did everything I wanted to do. But then the next step, jumping onto the Wisefab and putting that on the car, actually made it drive a lot better. Had loads more front end grip, and then we managed to basically. You're an R33 guy. You always watch Zach Pole in New Zealand. Probably one of the best looking R33s ever.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So I managed to get in contact with him, spoke to him, ended up being quite good friends with him and kept in contact over the years. And he supplied my car with one of his custom made, 70mm plus 70mm front and rear arches. And that's what's been on the car up until now, kind of thing. And that enabled us to get, Wisefab sticks the wheels out so much and enables you to cover the wheels, and ended up actually looking like a good car again.
So back to your history, Martin. We did it 13, 14.
Yeah.
15.
14, met Tess, did another year of Drift All-Stars.
Yep.
Then, 15?
15, you did some of Drift.
15 did a couple of rounds of BDC, was kind of in a limbo year. I ended up driving at Goodwood Festival of Speed, which is a massive tick.
Was that not 16?
It might have been 16. All of those 14 to 17 was like a little bit. I was loved up with Tess.
I know, we found you in me and Ben come to Goodwood, didn't we? Ben
was that 16 then, was it?
Yeah, we found you back at truck, in back of your van, asleep. I don't know if you remember.
After, one of the best nights.
Martin still had tuxedo on.
That was a good night, wasn't it?
So then obviously after that you got onto Driftworks.
Yeah. So after was it 2017?
2018, you
First drive
no,
Driftworks.
yeah, no, 2017.
2017,
Yeah,
yeah.
17, surely.
Bill and the Driftworks guys contacted me and said,
You're meant to be drinking. You said Driftworks 3 times. Come on.
Oh, no, you got one of those.
3 times the Jaeger. Come on. Good lad. I know they won't disappoint.
So yeah, the Driftworks guys.
And again.
No. Come on, we need to get some talking out of him. He'll not be able to talk if he carries on.
Ideal.
I'll go into power save mode and then you won't have anything.
That was it.
So you got on with Driftworks.
Yeah, so they kindly invited me to drive the R32, and that's been an awesome experience for the last, is it 4th year now? 4th year. So coming into the 4th year of driving that awesome car that's got so much history, and is so well known and is such a cool car that I'm actually honoured to be driving it, and still pinch myself.
You've got some results in it as well, ain't you?
Yeah,
You finished second in BDC for 2 years, didn't you?
Yeah, the first year I drove it, I think I was third. No, I think I was 3rd or 4th the first year. I can't remember.
And then second the second year.
Then second the second year.
And then obviously you've been to Driftmasters in it.
And then Driftmasters, yeah.
You are the king of Riga.
King of Riga. Managed to
that
bring
deserves
home
a shot,
a trophy
Martin.
for the UK and restore faith in UK drifting. And then, yeah, where we are now, really. So that kind of takes us up to that time.
Present time.
And thinking about it now, it's like one hell of a journey. Hell of a journey, and my God. Yeah.
You've also been doing a bit of TV work. You had a TV program on ITV, didn't you?
Yeah.
How did all that come about?
Part and parcel of drifting, driving. I've been lucky enough to be done a bit of stunt driving in a couple of movies, a music video, things like that. And actually, the TV series that we were involved in came from Paul McCallum at Jack Speed, and we were at Rockingham at a British touring car event that we got invited to.
Yeah.
And do you want to go?
Oh, okay.
You feel like you're like itching.
And I was talking about another TV show that I was involved in.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Paul kind of was like, "Oh, you were involved in TV, blah blah blah." Martin's got. I can hear myself.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. But...
Martin's got a workshop. So.
Have I?
Has Martin got a workshop?
Come on, you've had a few. We know you've had a few beers, but get your story out.
God's sake. Martin's got a workshop. I'm gonna get you in touch with these producers and see what they think of you. There's a TV show coming up with some people, and then it went from there.
Yeah. We had a screen test and
many Skypes,
and ended up that they wanted a workshop. They wanted mechanics.
Yeah.
They wanted 2, maybe 3. We went for a screen test with myself, Simon, who's a really good friend and actually now works with me, and Tess, and we got the job, and we made a pretty cool, fun little 6 or 5 part series.
5 parts.
Yeah.
So the little truck you made, that little drift truck, is that in your shop?
Yeah. So I ended up buying that off the production company. We basically had some budget to spend to make a ship van into a drift van.
Yep.
And went to Driftworks with a shopping trolley and just bought some cool shit.
Yeah.
And made a little cool van and kind of fell in love with it. I've always liked K vans, small little vans or JDM things, you know. So that was like one of our favourite projects of that series, and ended up being able to buy it off the production company. And basically now it's a works van. Drive it to and from work every day.
It's a bit fucking loud though.
It's a bit loud, yeah. Like everybody around the estate or around the area knows I'm coming.
Yeah. They know when you're at work.
It's just really cool and perfect. And if we ever do UK events, when we do UK events, it's going to be basically our pit van that carries the tyres and the tools and can go, do the top 16 pit breaks, when you change tyres and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool, and hopefully we'll get to use it at some point.
So what's happened to all the other cars? Did you get to keep them, or are they?
No. So the electric vehicle, which we did, was a Mercedes E-Class that we converted from diesel to electric with Tesla units. That was actually, all the gear was lent from a guy called Chris from Zero EV, which is a company that installs Tesla drive units and basically does all the electric conversion packages, basically.
To anything you could possibly imagine.
So he lent us the gear for the TV show, and we ended up giving him the car. Then the MX-5 off-roadster ended up going to Zeph, one of the stars in the show, who was like...
that was a pretty cool car, that, wasn't
the main
it?
guy, yeah. And the one we used for the show was basically a scrapper. It was like a MOT failure, rusty as hell. So we ended up putting that into another black one, black Mark 2.5, and then he's taken that to Guernsey where he lives and is hopefully enjoying it.
The stuff on the MX-5 was from a company called
Paco Motorsports.
Paco Motorsports.
Yeah, so that kit for
America.
an MX-5, you can actually buy it from the States, import it over, jacks your car up, makes it do jumps. It's awesome.
What about the little Chinkachenko? What happened to that?
The Seicento has actually got left with us.
Yeah.
So that's still at my storage yard. And I hope one day I get round to it, is take the turbo, the ECU, all of the stuff off that Seicento and put it on the little drift van and make it turboed. And then hopefully either go to a Matsuri or a drift day or something in this little van and send it,
Yeah, it looks the part, that little van, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah, exactly. And I think with a
thing
little turbo, if we could get it, to
well.
like 130, 140 horsepower, it'd be wicked. It'd be lots of fun. So it's just sat there waiting for, a rainy day or a time when we're not on lockdown and we can get some bits and, actually focus on doing it and make it into something cool. Take it to the next step, because that's always what we had as an idea for that little van. Yeah.
And then Driftmasters. We don't want to know anything about the drifting at Driftmasters.
Oh no, it's not.
We know you two like to have a party and whatnot.
Yeah.
So if me and Matt were to go to a round of Driftmasters, which one would you recommend us go to? For the atmosphere, the party.
100% Riga, right?
Riga.
This place is crazy. It's in the middle of Riga, which is the capital city of Latvia. It's in the track is basically just on the outskirts of the town centre. 5 minutes in a taxi, you're in the centre. There's crazy clubs, like all the good food,
clubs.
Double clubs,
everything. The weather's always nice. They used to do the street parades, but we didn't get to do that last year. It's just the experience of a lifetime that you need to go. I've always said it to Tess and anybody, Riga is, when I did Drift All Stars, it was always the highlight of the year. That and probably Hungary was seriously cool. So you have to come to Riga.
Yeah. No worries. Then on to my next question. Your drift school. And obviously...
Right, I'm going to go for it.
No, it's a bit of both of you, this.
I know, but I need to relieve the bladder.
Just give a minute. Well, just a quick one. So you drift school, and obviously you did which is RDX, and you did a bit with Pro Drift teaching and stuff. Obviously you've taught a lot of people. Who was your best pupil? Who's gone the farthest from stuff you've taught them?
Who's gone the furthest?
Are you digging it? Did you teach Adam for some reason?
No.
Did he what?
No, he didn't teach me.
From all the people we've taught, who's gone the furthest?
Or who's been the best pupil, and still at it now?
Oh my gosh. I feel really bad. I've forgotten his name.
Well, who?
He's now got a 350Z.
Who's got a 350Z?
This guy that came to the drift school a couple of times.
What colour is it?
Edible now.
Yeah.
It's silver.
What? And he competes?
No, he doesn't compete.
Oh.
He's just.
Well, how's that the furthest?
Well, because
Because he's come the furthest and he's a good driver.
So many people at different levels, whether it's just introducing them to drifting.
S14 guy.
S14 guy?
That bought the S15 off of Denham.
S15, S13.
S4.
He bought an S13. Anyway, right, we've taught that many people at different levels, small or big. I don't think we've actually had a pupil or somebody to teach from, like, introducing them to drifting right up to competition level. We've had some input with Max Cotton, who's
the next big thing.
Been with Pro Drift and starting his journey now at a very young age competing, and we've had some kind of input there, but there's not actually somebody we've properly taken under our wings and started teaching them our way and taking them to competition.
How long do you think it'll be till Max Cotton's in pro class?
I reckon not this year.
The year after.
Oh damn!
He's pissed. Look, he's fell over.
The camera's drunk.
Hey up.
Where's Tess gone? That was magic, wasn't it?
Tess is fixing me.
Oh, fix it.
Max Cotton, obviously, we're not. Let's say we're going to write off this year.
Yeah.
I think
We're not writing off anything.
2 seasons. I think 2 seasons he'll be in pro class.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Seasons. Yeah.
So go on then, Martin. If you need a wee, get your sent off, pal.
If what?
If you need a wee, get your sent off. So Tessa, did you watch BDC last year?
Yeah, of course I did.
Yeah. So who do you think is going to take the season this year, Pro and Pro 2?
Oh God.
I should have maybe sent you these before, shouldn't I?
I would have to say this year, Pro would have to be Matt Denham.
Do you think his car's going to work?
Is his car going to work?
Well, I bloody hope so.
It needs to do, doesn't it? It needs to do.
To be fair, we should get Matt Denham on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah, we'll get Matt and Smokey on at some point.
Pro 2. Well, it has to be Max Cotton, really, hasn't it?
He's in Drift
Drift
Cup.
Cup. Drift Cup at the minute.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good product knowledge, Tess.
It's good, that, isn't it? Oh, God.
Could it be Tessa Whittock?
What?
Could it be Tessa Whittock?
It'll be nice to be, but I don't think I could commit to a whole season. I would love it.
What, even when it's over Christmas?
5 rounds in 5 days.
5 rounds at Buxton in 5 days?
I'll do that. And then I can go against this one.
Oh my God. So, same question to you, Martin. Now you're back. Who do we think is going to win BDC Pro and Pro 2?
Oh, Pro. I heard you talking about Matthew Denham. If Matthew Denham actually has a reliable car and manages to do a full season, I think he's 100% a contender for winning a championship. Other than that, one of my big backers is Josh King. I've worked with him for the last, he's a local guy, local to me. I really help him with his setup on his car, and I'm rooting for him to seriously do some business.
Have you seen his new car?
He released it today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's built a brand new car. He's invested in drifting. He's got the bug 100%, and I'm backing him 100% to do really good. So I think there's a really good balance there. Simmons, is definitely a massive contender.
No, don't build his ego like this.
It's because I've done that many years of bigging Martin up, being a 33 lad. Copying his car, putting a JZ in it, copying radiator. Literally, I just tried to make a carbon copy of Martin's car.
No, but
then I'd be able to
started really gelling with your car last year and put on some awesome show. Your car's cool. You're really learning it, and it showed by the end of the season you were getting really good results. So now I think you've gelled with your car. You haven't changed it too much. That's a big thing for me in drifting. Is don't make massive changes to your car. Don't come into next year and go, I have to do this, and
which everyone does, don't they?
Just
so many people do it.
You've driven that car for a year. You start to learn it. You know the small changes you've got to do, and I think you'll go into next year and do awesome. So I think as and when you get to start drifting again and really nail down a championship, I think it's going to be exciting for the UK lot, definitely.
What about Pro 2? Any ideas with that one?
I'm really freaking shit at names.
Tell us cars then.
Cars? I'm okay with cars. There was this E36 who did really well in Pro 2, and there was also one of them Nissan S14s did really well, and a JZ. I feel really bad, but I haven't followed who is entered for the season.
The thing with Pro 2 classes, it moves so fast. People move up.
And
people coming from Drift Cup
and all the other championships, and there's a big massive mix. But honestly, I do like to watch the semi-pro class on a Saturday or whatever.
Pro 2, mate. Now it's called Pro 2. It's not 2006 anymore.
Semi-pro, Pro 2. It's great to watch, and honestly, some of the battles are even better than some of the pro class battles.
Yeah.
So it's great to watch. I'm shit at names, and I'm really sorry for that. But
it's fine.
Either way, it's great to watch, and I think somebody will.
Somebody will win.
Somebody will
win it, obviously.
I want to say, actually, who I know is in Pro 2 is Marcus Clare.
Oh, yeah.
Very good driver.
Very good driver.
Like
going to be running Is he going to be running semi-slicks this year, do you know?
Yeah,
I've been speaking to him about it, and he's getting hopefully a sequential gearbox from...
He's got one, I think, hasn't he? I think he's got it.
Not just yet, no.
Oh, right, okay.
And...
What do you know?
Nothing.
Not just yet.
So if you turn up to BDC, your car breaks getting it off trailer, you're allowed to use any other driver's car for the weekend.
Is that the new rule?
No, this is a hypothetical question, Martin.
Okay, yeah.
Whose car are you using?
Right, so I get my car off the trailer, it breaks.
You can pick any other BDC driver's car.
Is it paused? He's still 9, 8.
Is Hayden Cruikshank in Yeah, his car.
What, the new JZX?
Yeah, because I've had the pleasure of setting that car up, actually driving it, and it's a V8. I hate V8s, but that thing has a power band to die for.
Yeah.
Like supercharged, 1,000 horsepower. What? I hate V8s, but that thing, when I drove it, was like you could...
Did you set it up the first time when he rolled it?
No.
He didn't roll it. It never
happened. Never happened. Don't speak.
Didn't happen.
I don't feel... shit. I was talking with Mark, who...
Mark Kelly.
Who built that car at the time when Hayden was testing that car. And we were in Dubai at the time.
Yep.
And I was away. I'd always planned to set the car up, and then we just didn't manage to get the car there before he drove it and everything like that. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do anything to the car before he drove it, and subsequently that happened.
It's still your fault.
It never happened.
So yeah, I feel responsible that I didn't actually get a chance to work some magic on that car before Hayden drove it for the first time.
So what about you, Tessa?
Oh, come on.
What car would you drive in the VDC if you had the chance? If your car broke?
She shouldn't even drive her own anyway. She drives yours.
I'm interested to see what you'd say here.
Hey.
It's not Martin's, it's Tessa's now.
I know.
Thanks.
Just like your Z3's Loz's.
I'll leave it.
Whoa!
she's actually bought that 350Z because you and Topo keep taking piss out of her.
Yeah, well.
Because I said that she could use my Z3 as much as she wanted. So she posted a couple of pictures, and Matt and Topo have done nothing but rip her. So she's gone out and bought a fucking 350Z.
Topo's a bad one.
Yeah. There is actually, last off, there is question time from Topo.
Oh,
He texted me earlier.
No,
can we say that till the end, please? Because I have
it is right at
what
the
it's
end.
going to be about.
He texted me earlier saying that he wanted to ask you some questions, so
Yeah.
we have got question time
let's
from
save that
Topo.
to the end, yeah?
A couple more Jaegers, yeah?
Let's save that to the end, Topo.
But yeah, so
Might need a shot after that one.
what is your best drifting memory? Like whether you were watching, driving, anything, that one thing that sticks in your mind that was like, yeah, that was the one.
For me?
For both of you. Obviously you and then
Go
Tess.
on, you go first because you've already.
For me, it was probably 2014 when I met Tess and spent the whole year.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but that is, for me, it's a close one between 2012 when I first went to Europe with Drift All-Stars and 2014 with Tess, because honestly, I believe that was the best time of my life, was traveling with you on a shoestring budget, different hotels, traveling in a truck with Mark Needs, and all of that stuff combined was like one of the best times of my life. So that's genuinely a big stick out for me.
What about you, Tessa? What's your best
Yeah,
drifting
you can't say
memory?
the same one now.
Shit.
She's like, 2014 was shit, but I remember.
Yeah.
No. I would say 2018, the first year I came on board with Driftworks and then went straight out to Spain. No, Italy.
I can't even know the country.
Now, for fuck's sake.
Come on then.
No,
Get even more pissed. Come on.
No, Martin, stop making a drink. We need to try and get some answers out of her.
Wait.
2018, when you went to Italy.
Yeah, when I went to Italy.
I thought it was Spain.
Castelletto. Yeah.
I'm quite surprised.
Castelletto? Was that track in Italy?
Yeah.
It was a cool track.
I'm quite surprised. I thought that at least one of you had said Martin winning at Riga.
I thought that, yeah, King of Riga.
Like, that is an outstanding moment, but like it was an outstanding moment. But
the footage that I watched back from that was when I was doing the video and editing everything. I actually cried because I was so emotional at the time, and any time that I watch any of that footage back, it's crying with massive emotion.
That was a massive, outstanding moment of 2019.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's your dream to win an event, but it's also your dream to win a championship. And if you're not focusing or looking forward to that next goal, you're not trying hard enough, or you're not focused.
So was 2014 your most memorable year because you did the naked video? What were it? Terminator.
As well. See, like this is why that stands out to me as the best year of my life. I met the love of my life. The times we had were amazing. We made cool shit like that with Vince Knight.
For anybody who hasn't seen it, I'm going to put the link in the comments.
Please do, because that is such a cool video. And I really want to carry on the Terminator tradition and make some more cool shit like that this year.
We tried to do that last year, but it wasn't possible. But I would love to carry that on.
Yeah, that's another reason why that year was so stand out for us, because we had no money.
Is that why you didn't have any clothes on in video?
Yeah, I couldn't afford any. I couldn't afford it. We drank a lot of cider to make that video, I tell you. Yeah.
We were on all sorts of
things. We cut up fences that belonged to Antanas. That was running that event in Lithuania at the time. Yeah. We cut up his fences, and I remember we were cutting it out, and he was like, "What are you doing, guys?" And we're like, "We brought this fence from England." And he was like, "All right, cool, carry on then." We basically nicked it from the track that he'd like rented all these fences for to make this video. It was just things like that. It's such good memories.
So, if you both had an unlimited budget, what chassis, what engine would you be having on a drift car build?
Well, I know that.
Go on, Tess.
Go on then, Tess.
Yeah, mine's easy. Toyota Supra.
What, a new one?
A90 Supra. The original engine that is in the A90, so the B58 engine.
We've not mentioned this, have we, that you are actually getting one of these?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Do we mention that? Is that a mentioner?
Yeah, when all this shit's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the B58 engine, and obviously tuned to at least
1,000.
No, I don't want
1,000
At
million.
least 1,000. You got to be Tabernakers, didn't you?
1,001 just to meet him.
1,002.
Don't run as fast as I go down. Well, I would say.
Of course, you won 1,000 horsepower. Who doesn't want 1,000 horsepower?
It's a money's no object build test.
Deal with, right? I would deal with 700 brake horsepower.
You deal with it.
Yeah,
I couldn't deal with it. not when Freddie's got 1,000.
Yeah, but you've got a budget, and now you've had.
You've got an unlimited budget. This is hypothetical questions, Tess.
Exactly, it's hypothetical.
Sorry.
You could have any car, any engine.
And you picked a Supra.
Why do you reckon?
So what about you, Martin? What chassis engine we having?
This is really something I need to think about, and I've never actually thought about, because obviously having a limited budget is
to say, just to let you know.
In some cases non-attainable and takes a lot of thought. I've got a dream, if I had the backing and the right money, would to build an Alfa Romeo Giulietta.
The new twin turbo thing.
The Giulia, yeah. Because I think they look cool, and just throw everything at it and make it fully awesome.
Yep.
Can you not ask Phil?
You just asked him for me.
He's having a bobby now, so.
So
I'm nearly out of my questions, and we're on.
What engine would you put in that?
I'd keep the original engine, because to keep V6, yeah.
Sorry, okay. All right. Fucking calm down.
Yeah. Try and keep the original engine, just because the whole Alfa Romeo thing haven't had a great run.
What? So Martin Richards wants to make Alfa Romeo again.
Single-handed.
I reckon I'm the man for the job.
So yeah, we are now on to Topo's question time.
Oh.
Are you ready for this, Martin?
Right, we need a shot before Topo's questions. We need a shot before Topo's questions, because I reckon they're all going to be about marriage.
No, they're not actually.
Oh, really?
One of them is.
Of course they are.
I'm going to add a question.
Can we just go back to the time when Topo nearly died?
Which
on the
one?
motorbike holiday.
Just,
Oh,
just,
amazing.
just before he asks these questions and we get super embarrassed, can we just hark back to the time when we went on somebody's stag do and Topo nearly died?
You were a fanny that day though. You were shit on those
I've
motorbikes.
never rode a bike in my life.
To say how good you are
I
in a
went
drift
to
car,
that
Mark.
country on a plane going, yeah, I can ride a bike. And I reckon
And you saw me flip it driving up.
I saw you doing a backflip up the ramp before we even got out of the place. And I was like, this is actually serious.
People can die.
But yeah, Topo did nearly drive straight off end of a cliff on a motocross bike.
Yeah. Sideways as the car
Good
came around the corner.
Good
But
time.
yeah, I've added a question on to Topo's question time.
Okay.
So yeah, this is for Ryan Toporowski. My question first. Is Phil still giving you your pocket money while you're on lockdown?
Yes, he is. Thankfully. And
What a best.
we've got some plans for this season. We've got plans for that car. We've got plans for the season. And thankfully, Driftworks, Phil,
Drink.
everybody there
Drink.
is fully supporting of
Drink.
our
Drink.
plans.
Has he furloughed you then?
I'm not employed on that scale. Furloughed.
So do you want Topo's first question?
Go on then.
Before
Hold on, should we drink before Topo's first question?
you've just had a drink. Oh,
Have another.
so before you got with Tess, you had quite a bit of a dry spell. And he's put, when you were on the dry spell, did you start spitting on your house key before you put it into the lock?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, I use WD-40.
Good answer.
Who's your best?
Who spits on their keys before they put it in the lock?
Well, you might have been a bit sexually frustrated. You're spitting on it before you insert it, you know.
What's the...
Oh,
I'm
The
not
second
even-
one. What does Phil's cock taste like?
actually say that?
That could be a question to both.
Firstly, I'm not that way inclined, and I don't even know what to say to that. I don't...
Topo, you're a cunt.
Yeah.
basically.
I did tell you this weren't very professional before
Yeah,
you
this is
we
definitely not
started.
professional.
When are you proposing and when are we going on the stag do?
Well, you know, this
Now
little
could be the time.
lockdown
Just do it.
situation
Do it.
Has put a little curveball on the plans. So I'm sure when we get out of this situation and we're all healthy and enjoying life, I think things could
Time's
Progress.
ticking, Martin. Time's ticking,
Progress.
pal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to your stag do. I'm
Good.
sure Matt is
I
as well.
think we'll have a good
Hang
time.
on, Simo.
Hold on, Tess. You're not involved in this conversation. It's just the boys now.
Fuck off, Tess.
Asking this question. What about Loza?
Oh.
Oh, spin it round, yeah.
Well, Topo does ask me this quite a bit. But
Yeah, yeah.
and
So-
whenever he asks me, I spin it back to Martin.
Oh.
And then he just forgets about it.
You're a bastard. You're a bastard.
So,
Does
yeah,
that mean? Oh.
on that one, I can't hear you really, Tess. Phone's
It's breaking up.
I'll get closer to the. Can you hear me, Simo?
Yeah, I
What
can't
about
hear you, Tess.
Loza?
Sorry. Sorry,
Loza.
Tess. And then last question is Topo still your favourite driver?
See, you know when you ask me, like, when somebody's car fails, when your car fails when you get off the trailer, whose car would you drive?
Topo.
Like, part of me thought of Topo's because he's sunk so much money and
Is
time
James-
and effort into that car. And on paper, statistic like
Is
top
James
trumps,
Dean's
like,
S15?
Yeah, top trumps. He's got an S15 Wise Fab, like 800
Samsoners,
horsepower, whatever.
Winters.
Blah de blah de blah. But it looks like Hulk. What's going on, man? It's green. I cannot drive that thing.
You said that, but you once drove Topo's car.
I did.
You drove for Skidris.
I know.
You missed that out of your drift history that you drove for Skidris.
He doesn't like to remember it.
I did like to remember it. Honestly, it was a good time, and I'm happy and
Grateful.
I'm glad. Like Topo asked me to drive that car, but he knows, and you know, like he's had that whole color scheme and
He's played it out a bit, hasn't he?
delivery. Yeah. He needs something new, and his car's cool. It could be a lot cooler if it didn't have the green and Hulk thing. But I understand. On the flip side of that, I understand where he's coming from. You've got to entertain.
You've got to say though, when you
Jesus.
Martin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You've
I
got
wish
to say,
he'd fell over then. I wish
when
that
you
were
see
in the
his
car.
lorries and all these vans and his cars together, they do look pretty cool as a full set. Like,
Yeah, I
The pit-
understand that.
I don't
Like,
know if you've seen his
were
pit
in
setup.
WWF or WWE, and that's
He's got nothing nice to say. He's run
No,
out.
The last
Well,
question that we finish off with every time. Have you got any questions for me or Matt?
Oh,
When you getting married, Adam?
To Loza, Simo.
It's not on the agenda just yet. I've got to pay this thing off first.
pay this thing off. Does that mean that's on credit?
I'm not going to lie to you. I owe about $8,000. I've got about $8,000 on a credit card from building it.
High five to that.
I'm straight up.
He's on the same payment plans that you were on for the 33 15 years ago.
My question to Stevenson is, when was the last time you went into work?
I thought you were going to ask him when was the last time you had a Tinder date. That's a question for you, Tess. You asked that.
What are you nodding like you've been on a Tinder date?
No, I'm just going to
Ask Matt.
Martini, I was in work on Friday. Monday to Friday, I'm there. I'm still open like you. I'm still grafting like a trooper. I'm back on slide duties now.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do anything. I mean, I've got clean hands still. Like, well.
Of course, yeah.
So have you got any questions, Tess?
Well, Matt Stevenson, when was your last dating aspect of things?
It's breaking up. I can't hear you.
I know we can't meet each other and stuff like that.
You ain't gonna meet him.
Martin's getting jealous.
He is, isn't he?
We're not on about them two meeting each other, Martin.
Well,
Don't
he's
worry.
getting worried, isn't he? He's flapping. He's flapping.
We're not on about these two. We're just on about Matt having a Tinder date.
Oh, okay.
When was his last one?
So,
But obviously he can't hear us because his phone's breaking up.
I can't do Tinder dates, mate. It's,
Yeah.
Well, not
Anyway,
I can't do
both
anything
of
like
you.
that.
We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes now, so that's
Wrapping
about
up.
what we go for. You should think you're saying lucky because we usually go for an hour. But you two have had an
we've
extra,
done really well.
you've had an extra 15 minutes. I've been impressed with your drinking. Have you, Matt?
Yeah,
I still
they've done
reckon
well.
we need a shot to.
Let's have one
finish
last
off.
Jaeger bomb and then we'll give you a wave and say goodbye.
you boys go and get the Jaegers or something of a shot material, please.
Yeah.
I'll down
just
this.
Shot material.
I'll just neck it.
Nick that then.
Oh, come on.
Cheers, lads.
We're nice to see you both. Cheers.
And you
Bit
guys,
emotional.
thank you for the chats.
It's empty.
You're a dick. You fucking cheated.
What did he say?
He didn't even have anything in his fucking
I'm all
beer.
out. I'll double drink next time we're all playing out properly.
You're a dick.
I don't mind.
No, there's still
See you later, guys.
still some golden nectar in the bottom of that.
It was nice to speak to you
Finish
both,
it
Martin and Tess.
Simo, finish it off.
It's from.
It's not. Look at it.
Good work, pal.
See you later.
Bit emotional,
See you later.
kids. See you later on. See you in a bit.
Yes. I think that went quite well.
Yeah,